Hello, guys. Back again with another podcast. This time it's the second week of the Premier League season. It was a great weekend of football. Quite a few shock results, not to the big teams, but a few shock results in the middle of the table. So I'm joined by Zach again, who's going to be giving his input on the video on the games of the weekend and what he saw and what he liked. So the first game of the weekend was the lunchtime kickoff between Swansea and Manchester United at the Liberty Stadium. United running out 4-0 comfortable winners. It didn't look so comfortable for the first hour of the game, but 3 goals in the space of 4 or 5 minutes killed the game off, and it was a comfortable win for Man United. Zaki, what did you make of the performance, and what were you most impressed by?
Yeah, it was another stellar performance from Man United, especially in the second half. It was a really even game until it's around 70 minutes. After that, United just absolutely destroyed Swansea in the space of 20 minutes. It was just another identical 4-0 victory, two back-to-back victories, 4-0 victories in the space of 2 games. And it was a it topped off a really great performance from Manchester United overall, who had a lot of strength all over the park. It only took it took 70 minutes obviously to break the deadlock and score, but after that United looked really comfortable and they were just steering their way to victory and destroyed Swansea 4-0,
Were
which
you
I'm really happy about.
were you glad that Lukaku managed to get on the score sheet again?
Yeah, I'm chuffed. I'm really chuffed to see Lukaku score again, and obviously I want Lukaku to smash this season and really bring United into that pole position to win the Premier League this year. Another player who played really top was Matic. He played brilliant in the middle of the park, controlled the midfield. Also, Paul Pogba, his partnership with Matic is just they really formed a top bond, and that bond I think is going to help United win the Premier League title. Also, another player to note was Anthony Martial. As soon as he came on the pitch, he made a real name for himself and really pushed it to Mourinho basically that he deserves a starting place ahead of Rashford. It was a really good performance. And also Eric Bailly, to get his first goal for Man United. Really good reactions from Eric Bailly to finish off the ball. When Paul Pogba headed the ball and hit the crossbar, he reacted first and he scored a goal. It was a really good finish from Eric Bailly.
Yeah, so United started the weekend off with a 4-0 win in the lunchtime kickoff on Saturday, which put pressure on other teams to pick up their result, as United haven't conceded a goal yet in the Premier League. So then we move on to the 3 o'clock kickoff, starting with Bournemouth versus Watford. And it's a big, not a shock, but everyone expected a Bournemouth win in this game. But it turned out to be 2-0 to Watford, and 2 good goals from Etienne Capoue and Richarlison. Very good, 2 very good goals. Etienne Capoue with an absolute screamer to win the game for Watford. To be honest, but yeah, I would have said before the game that Bournemouth would have won the game, but Watford aren't doing too bad, to be honest. A draw in their first game against Liverpool and beating Bournemouth, which isn't the easiest of places to go to. So I think they'll be very happy with their start to the Premier League with with 4 points out of the first 2 games. What did you see the Etienne Capoue strike, Zaki?
Yeah, it was a brilliant strike, fabulous strike. Probably one of the best goals so far. It was really like he hit it sweetly and the ball just flying into the bottom corner. If Jogi just one of the guys in the comment section, he just commented. One of the guys who's he did a video, I think 2 videos ago. He did a video with you. He just goes, it didn't take 70 minutes for United to break the deadlock.
Yeah, it didn't take 70 minutes.
It was 45 minutes. I mean, for Lukaku to score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
45 minutes. All right. Now moving on to the next game. What's the next game that's there?
The next game it was next game was Burnley versus West Brom, which finished 1-0 to West Brom. Robson Kanu getting the finish for West Brom to win that match. What do you make of that?
Again, it's not a game I watched. I saw a few of the highlights. It was a great goal from Hal Robson Kanu. But again, a game similar to the Bournemouth Watford game where I would have predicted Burnley will win. It's not very likely that West Brom pick up a lot of points away from home, but surprisingly, I'm sure they take 6 points from the first two games and they joint top of the Premier League table, which is a surprise. We know they're not gonna stay there from. But 6 points from two pretty difficult games: Bournemouth at home and against Burnley away, which is another difficult ground to go to. So West Brom doing pretty well so far in the season. So moving on to the game between
Leicester
Southampton and West Ham.
Yeah.
This was probably one of the most entertaining games of the weekend. I watched the highlights of this game, and Southampton took the lead through Gabbiadini in the first 10 minutes. And then things only got worse for West Ham when Arnautovic was sent off for a supposedly elbow to one of the Southampton players. So that put them down to 10 men with a full hour to go in the game. So then straight after that, Southampton were given a penalty. Tadic took the penalty and scored. But West Ham were given a lifeline just before the break when Hernandez got off the mark, as a lot of people predicted he would, because he's a brilliant striker and he's proved himself in the Premier League. He scored his goal, which made it 2-1. And then the game was a bit dull for the next 20 minutes in the second half. But then after that, Hernandez with a great instinct to make it 2-2. But then really heartbreaking for the West Ham fans, as Southampton were awarded another spot kick in the last minute, which Charlie Austin took and gave them a 3-2 win. Southampton doing okay out of the first two games, 4 points. I'm sure they'll be happy with that. But it's really tough on West Ham playing against Man United away and then going down to 10 men so early on in the game and getting 2 goals back, but then losing in the last minute, which is pretty difficult to take for them.
It's pretty cruel the way they lost. So the next game, it was Leicester versus Brighton. I say it was a really, really close game between both teams, but Leicester, they got the goal from Okazaki from a shot. Maris basically hit the shot and he finished the ball. It was a close match. But Leicester, they had the cutting edge basically in the last third. They finished their 2 chances. Okazaki getting the first and Maguire getting the second with the brilliant header into the top corner. Okay, the next game that was played was Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. I think your friend Sean, he predicted that to be a 3-0 win, but it finished 1-0. Yeah, with the goal from Sadio Mane. A nice cheeky finish. I think it was a pass back, and he intercepted the ball and finished it into the bottom corner. Yeah, it was a good goal from Sadio Mane, and a very narrow win against Crystal Palace.
Talking of shocks of the weekend, a lot of people would say that was a shock because apparently Crystal Palace have won their last 3 games at Anfield, and I thought it'd be a pretty high-scoring affair, but the game finished 1-0 to Liverpool. I'm sure that they won't care that it was only 1-0 as long as they got the victory, and they'll be happy with 4 points from the first 2 games as well.
Yeah. Onto the next game, which was Stoke versus Arsenal, the game that you and our friend Hamza went. What do you make of that? I'll let you obviously talk about it because you went to the game. So what do you make of it? Is there a shock result? Big shock result.
To be honest, it's not really a shock result considering our recent record away at Stoke. We've played there so many years, been there for the past 3-4 seasons myself. And to be honest, last season was a one-off because Stoke had pretty much cemented their place in the Premier League for the next season. and that's why we won there so convincingly last year. The game on Saturday was always going to be a lot tougher due to the fact that they brought in. They had a really good summer and brought in quite a few good players, such as Hesse from PSG, who I thought was brilliant against us. Our defense just couldn't cope with his pace, along with Tipo Morton, who played. He was causing us a few problems as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, the game panned out in the first half. We had a lot of possession, took a lot of shots, a few great saves from the Stoke keeper Butland to keep them in it at 1-0. I reckon if we had scored before half time, then they would have had to come out and we would have hit them on the counter attack. But that wasn't meant to be. And in the second half, like we have so many times previously in the opening first few minutes of the game, we conceded a goal to Hesse, a great finish. But I reckon Monreal and Czech could have done a bit better.
Yeah, definitely.
But then after that, we had countless number of chances through Danny Welbeck, who just can't finish. To be honest, I'd have to agree with you. There's a reason why Man United sold the guy, because he can't finish.
Yeah,
And I was
definitely.
really upset to see him. I was really upset to see him because his build-up play to getting into the finals brilliant. But when he comes in front of the goal, the guy just can't finish. And I've seen him so many times, and I don't think he's personally. I wouldn't want to see him given an opportunity to play up front again for us. And another baffling decision in the game was Lacazette. Apparently, there's a lot of debate about the goal being offside or onside. People are saying onside. It's really close. It looks like the linesman has guessed, to be honest. But it's a great finish from Lacazette. And the thing is, Wenger goes and takes him off with 10 minutes to go, which is pretty shocking due to the fact that we need to chase the game. And Lacazette, if he's given a chance, he'd score. Unfortunately, the chances fell to Welbeck, and he blew most of them.
Yeah. What do you make of?
Yeah, just really.
Yeah. What do you make of like the way Wenger started his team? He played Bellerin at left wing back, and he played Chamberlain at left wing back, wasn't it? And he played was it upper Chamberlain at right wing back?
Chamberlain right wing back, Kolasinac was at left wing back, but we had a back three of Monreal, Mustafi, and I can't remember the third one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really messed up the way he started his team.
You can't have players like that. But to be honest, the annoying thing was that we had Holding and Mertesacker that were there, so it would have made sense to play Mertesacker and Holding. If you've got three fit centre backs to play him, don't play players out of the position. So yeah, I was really upset to see that. Bellerin, everyone knows that the guy's got no left foot. So it's pretty pointless playing him on the left wing when he can take a player on, but his crossing's absolutely shit anyway on the right hand side, and on the left hand side it's going to be worse. So basically, we just cut off from the left hand side. Xhaka was really poor when I watched him against Stoke. Gave the ball away so many times, but I reckon he'll come good later on during the season. He's got great range of passing. He just needs to be a bit more certain with his close range passing and not give the ball away as much. But yeah, it's a damaging defeat for us, 1-0. But we have to bounce back against Liverpool on Sunday. And the reason I think we'll be in a lot better shape for that is due to the fact that Alexis Sanchez should be returning against Liverpool, and we'll have our main centre back, Lauren Koscielny, back.
Yeah. What do you make of Özil for the goal that Stoke scored? You reckon he could have done a lot more to stop Heze from like getting away from him and getting to the box to finish the ball? Do you reckon he could have tracked back and worked harder?
I'm not sure. To be honest, I think that was more Monreal's fault, because I've seen the run that the ball played by Berahino into the path of Hesse, and Monreal stutters just before he's about to shoot, and he doesn't put the tackle in, and it's too late when he does. So they score the goal, and that's basically that. And it's 1-0, and then we know what's going to happen after that. Stoke are just going to sit behind the ball, park the bus like Mark Hughes likes to do, and basically say to us, try and break us down, which we couldn't do, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I would have taken a 1-1 draw after 70 minutes, but unfortunately that just couldn't happen. And now we have to try and get a result at Anfield on the weekend.
Yeah, could I give my opinion on the Lacazette goal? Whatever the one was ruled offside. I think it was offside, but I don't know how the linesman got that right, because it was eye of the needle stuff. Like his foot, his heel basically was offside, and it was like his body was onside, so it's really, really close. It was like a lot of people have said.
a lot of people have said it's been a decision where you just judge based on instinct. So it's just one of those things you have to take it and just move on to the next game.
It's one of the millisecond things that you can only like do things in, like if you do it in that, you have to react really quickly as a linesman in order to find out whether it's offside or not. So yeah, it was a very close decision. I wouldn't mind if it was a goal, but yeah, it was a good decision from the linesman.
All right, moving on to the next game, which took place on Sunday. The Sunday games were Huddersfield against Newcastle and Tottenham against Chelsea. So the Huddersfield versus Newcastle game finished 1-0 to Huddersfield. A great goal by the centre mid, who looks a really good. He looks a really good player. I watched the game on Saturday against Newcastle. David Moy, I think his name is.
Yeah, it was a nice.
Great 1-2 and a great finish into the top corner. But yeah, Huddersfield 6 points in the first two games against Crystal Palace and Newcastle. I'm sure they're really happy with that, and the fact that they beat Newcastle, and a lot of debate going around with Newcastle fans saying their team's just a championship side. They need a lot more additions to that team, which, to be honest, yeah, I'd say they need a few more players. But when John Joe Shelby gets back for them, they'll put a few things right and get a few results.
Yeah. On to the next game. It was Tottenham versus Chelsea on Sunday. I finished 2-1 to Chelsea. A lot of people were shocked with this result, but Tottenham, they looked really, really shaky at Wembley, and you can tell, like, from their track record and things, they just weren't gonna. They just never played up to, even though it's their home ground. They were playing really, really weak, and they were letting Chelsea control the game, dictate play, and let them get into their box basically. Tottenham was, on the hand, Tottenham was struggling really, really, really hard. Like, Kane was finding it hard to shoot inside the box. He did hit the post in the second half, but apart from that, there was very, very few opportunities for Tottenham to score. Eventually, their goal came from Batshuayi. Chelsea, on the hand, they scored a brilliant goal from Marcus Alonso, a majestic free kick into the top corner, and then he scored the brilliant winner, which I think Laurie could have done better. He could have, maybe, if he had better handling and if he acted quicker, he could have stopped that shot. But yeah, it was a brilliant performance from Marcus Alonso. He really looks like a shining player in this Premier League season so far.
Yeah, it was a great free kick by Marcus Alonso, top corner. But I wouldn't say Spurs were shaky. I just think Chelsea defensively, they were much better set up. Conte had, after the defeat against Burnley, he'd worked really well with his team during that week, and he knew what Tottenham's plan would be, and he knew that they'd have a lot of shots in the game. They did have quite a few shots, but Chelsea stuck to their task, and a mistake at the end by Hugo Lloris led to Chelsea 2-1 win.
Yeah. So on to the next game. It was yesterday's game, Manchester City versus Everton. It finished 1-1. Wayne Rooney with a finish, with a left-footed finish, and who scored for City again?
Raheem Sterling scored.
Raheem Sterling scored a volley, a nice volley into the bottom corner. The Rooney shot should have really been stopped by Moyes, but I think he reacted really late to that shot, and Sterling, he scored a really good goal. So the game, it was 1-1. What do you make of that game?
Yeah, Man City versus Everton. Everton set up pretty defensively, playing a lot of long balls to their quick striker that they have in Calvert-Lewin, with Rooney playing just off him. Everton were pretty good for the first half, but for the goal, I'd have to agree. The shot was straight at the keeper, and Moyes should have done a lot better than what he did, and that made it 1-0 to Everton. And then second half, City pressed, and it was only a matter of time before they scored. A cross into the box, and then a header away from Mason Holgate, which landed at the feet of Raheem Sterling with a great finish into the bottom corner, making it 1-1.
Yeah.
And I'd say City wouldn't be too upset with that point, considering the fact that they were down to 10 men with Kyle Walker being sent off. But yeah, a point for them. I think they take that and move on to the next game because
What
Everton's
do you make?
always a tough game.
What do you make of the two controversial decisions? First was Kyle Walker's red card, which was two yellows. Um, Idelin, who got red carded, also
Yeah,
two yellows.
the first tackle by Kyle Walker on Leighton Baines, it was a late tackle. The way he lunged into the tackle was always going to get him a booking.
Yeah.
That was a yellow card, but I'm sorry, but the second yellow card, that was never a red card. Calvert-Lewin has made a lot of it. He's gone down really softly. It's not even an elbow; it's a shoulder bodge. The shoulder bodged him, and the lad's fallen over, and basically, yeah, they're down to 10 men with a full half to play. But it didn't affect them too much. Man City restored most of the possession, and they played as well as they could, and they got a point for it. So that's
Yeah.
it, guys. That's it for today's podcast. And in the next few days, I'll be doing my review show for the games which are taking place this weekend. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show.